I am checking in because I cannot remember the last time I filmed something for the February vlog. I think I'm going to finish off editing my January one, and then tomorrow I am going to film my best books of 2022. Very late, but you know what, better late than never. I want to talk to you about two books, and also, well, three books. I finished Mammy yesterday by Jessica George, I believe it is by. If not, I'll correct you when I'm editing. And I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. And I think I gave it 5 stars more for relatability rather than like, wow, it completely like blew my mind. I absolutely did love it. And usually I would give a book like that 4 stars. Because, yeah, it was great, emotional connection, stuff like that. But I'm like, did it beat some of, like, was it the best storytelling ever? No, but I liked, and I mean by that I don't mean like the storytelling of that was boring or anything like that, but that was like on one singular character. If it had like, you know, more time with her, spanned a huge amount of time of her life, or involved a little bit more characters, I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words so badly, then I would have absolutely have been like, usually that would be 5 stars. I don't know if I'm making that distinction any clearer because I gave it 5 stars anyway, but I know in my head what I mean. Usually that's a 4-star book for me, but I think just because of the inclusion of things to do with Ghanaian culture, but things to do with like first gen immigrant culture as well, there was just so much I related to that for me it just bumped it up to 5 stars. So I'm going to talk more about that. I keep saying this, but there is a video that I would have filmed which was meant to be on One for Sorrow, Two for Joy, and also Someday Maybe. I think I'm now going to change that so that it's on One for Sorrow, Two for Joy, and on this book, just because these two books both reference Ghanaian culture. And I just relate to those books so much, and it's not that none of these things that they speak about can't happen in any cultures. It's absolutely not culturally specific. But for me, as a Ghanaian woman, as who is basically those two characters in that book, it means a lot. And Someday Maybe was a great like comparison for One for Sorrow, Two for Joy because they were coming out around the same time. But that's about a Nigerian family, and again, it's not even about the culture really, because so much of it I was just like, But that one focuses specifically on grief and the loss of a partner, whereas I feel in One for Sorrow, Two for Joy, they're about 2 Ghanaian women who are dealing with the effects of the upbringing on their life, and I just think there'll be great comparisons. So that video is still coming. I will make notes and I will do that video. I have picked this up again because I finished The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. I think I mentioned that, I'm not too sure. So I'm back to reading this. I started reading this in November. I didn't actually realise how long it had been until I was looking at my story graph. But I wouldn't say I wasn't enjoying it. A lot of it was talking about reading and teenagers and like being set books in class, and I just wasn't really that interested in it. But it's got into a really nice book where it's just talking about like reading in general, and it just has some really nice endings. And when I say endings, I mean like sentences or short sentences that I think is really funny. And I just think it's reached that point where it's talking about reading, you know, when you're in college or like university and lecturers opening your eyes to new readings. I didn't really have that experience because I only took English up until AS level, which I think we're about 17 if you're in the UK. I didn't take it on any further because I was in this class and it was just full of like 7 other girls, or maybe 6 other girls and me. And then the teacher and the text they were setting, I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to enjoy any of this. Like, yeah, it was not for me. So I was just like, I think I'm going to leave English here and just read the way I like to read and not analyse. I don't even mind analysing text, but it was just like they were analysing things that I would have had absolutely no interest in. And sometimes that's fine, you know, people read classics and whatnot, but throughout my time in school we have analysed texts that I like, and they haven't always been modern day texts, but the stuff they were doing I was just like, I literally have no interest in this. So yeah, I finished Mammy yesterday and then I picked this up this morning, had a little read with this one set by me. I've only read the first chapter, so I really cannot tell you much. The first chapter opens with a girl named Rose. Well, she's being renamed Rose and she's entering, I suppose, a part of this society or world, as in like some sort of project. It's her and 5 other women and they've all been renamed. They all come from different parts of this planet. I don't think this blurb on the back is a full blurb, but I'll read it anyway. Dominican College invites applicants for an English tutor position in an innovative campus in the Canadian North. Applicants must have a BA Honours in Literature, impeccable references, and a desire to build a more sustainable way of life. A demonstrated interest in art, architecture, and utopian communities will be taken into consideration. So yeah, this character Rose, who is being renamed, and we kind of know from the first opening that perhaps she's not going there just for this position. She's going there to find out something, to infiltrate, I don't know, get close to someone. And it's just essentially world building. It literally is the first few pages, first chapters. She meets a couple of the new girls. She has something removed from like the back of her ear. Like if you imagine Black Mirror, that episode, I mean this happens in so many like sci-fi shows, but I am going to use the Black Mirror reference, the one where they can rewind things in their head. It's the one with Jodie Foster. I want to say her name was Jodie Foster. She's in so many things. She was the one, yeah, I think it's Jodie Foster, the recent woman Doctor Who. It's that episode with her, and I absolutely love that episode because I think it's so class. But where they essentially have like chips bit in their head, and they can like pull behind their ear, and they can get like their feed and like I guess recall memories and stuff like that. So far that hasn't happened in here, but they can get access to feeds of things. So if someone thinks of a tiger, they can like think tiger, and it just scans everything to do with news of a tiger rather than actually your core memory, a memory of you maybe seeing a tiger. That wouldn't be the first thing to show up. But yeah, so far that is it. So it's a Saturday. I am going to spend my Saturday doing some chores and some other bits and just relaxing and yeah, reading. So hopefully I will catch up with you guys later. So one of the things on my to-do list and one of the things I set myself for this week was to do at least 2 exercises. Well, it was just to do 2 exercises from this, and I've just sat down to do them. I did one last week, and I think I'd just seen it there and just remembered that like I bought this book so that I could use the prompt, so I needed to start doing it. So I've completed most of the exercises in the hurting section, and I was just looking at the next section. There are a couple, so let's flip you around. So there's definitely a couple of exercises in this section that I haven't completed, so I'm going to go back and see if I want to complete those. Some of them I think they were quite long, and some of them I just didn't really want to complete. I finished this one, so a list poem. You picked one of these prompts and you just write a list on it. So I picked friendship, and you can see here. And then there's also another exercise, which is to the people who've touched my body. And I probably am blanking out this section right here anyway, because at some point there will be a poem, but at the moment it feels very raw. So yeah, but I've written all of these bits. But the next section, which is chapter 2, loving, I thought this, which I hope you'll just pause and read, but I thought this was just really nice. I'm really excited for this next section. So yeah, I've knocked off, I would say 2 or, no, I think 3 or 4 actually of the things on my to-do list today, like for the span of this week. Some things are going to be moved over to next week, which is completely fine. But I'm really glad I got to do these exercises, because what I'm going to do next is look at places that I want to submit poetry to, and then also see, like, write some of what I've written down in here into a Word document and see if I can't make a little poem out of that, and then make dinner. So that's my plan for the rest of today. I haven't read a damn thing today, so can't comment on that, but I did film my best books of 2022 today, and I have about 75% left of the first edit to do, and then I can go back in and do all the pictures, front covers of books, and just tighten the edit up a little bit. So glad I got that done, because my January vlog also went up to date as well. So yeah, productive day. Hi everyone. I cannot tell if this is in focus or not. I feel like it's not. Is it in focus? No. Okay, I think it's in focus now. I haven't filmed in so long. I haven't been able to like even get clips of just being out and about. But I'm going to talk to you about a couple of books. Mainly this one. Again, is it in focus? we're just going to try this. I started this maybe a couple of days ago, maybe at least a week ago, because I finished reading, one second. I've just moved you because the last thing you want when you're editing or filming anything is to come to the editing process and realise you really could have just changed locations and everything would be fine, and that you can't use the clip you just filmed with. So I was saying I started reading that because I finished reading this. This was Camp Zero. It's here. I believe it's coming out on the 30th of March, at least in the UK. I don't know when it comes out in the US. And I actually enjoyed this, but so I think I gave it 3 stars, but really 2.5 stars, which is what I gave it on Storygraph. I enjoyed this. I just finished the book and felt like this book was a prequel to the rest of the story. It is told from the perspective of 3 people. So it's told in it's told in chapters from 3 different people. So Rose, Grant, and then White Alice. White Alice is a collective of women who have been dumped in this place to survive and see how they, like, I've completely forgotten the word for like what they actually are, but it's about, yeah. But essentially it's a group of women. They're made up of like geographer. There's a woman who like teaches them mortal combat, who's really like supposed to protect them. They all have varying scientific knowledge, essentially, that it will allow them to survive in this sort of icy place that they are. There is Grant, a man who is escaping from his rich old life to go somewhere where his name is not known because his family is very prestigious and he just wants out of it. So he is embarking to sort of Camp Zero as well, to sort of, well, he's going there to teach because that's what he did in his previous occupation. And then there is Rose, who is in this Camp Zero again with a bunch of other women, and they are prostitutes. Rose is not her real name, and I think the main focus of like this book is meant to sort of, well, it's not the main focus because there's 3 focal points essentially. In terms of Rose's story is about her Korean background. Her mum emigrated from Korea to America when she met Rose's dad, and then it's about that sort of life that her mum had there, and then also what Rose is doing in order to provide a better life for her mum. There is a lot of stories, like a lot of themes tied up in here, because it is obviously this sort of immigrant experience and wanting a better life for herself, but then there's obviously Grant and running away from his like rich people problems, and then there is obviously White Alice and how these women develop a community, and then there's also talk of like occupying land, and then there's obviously the fact that this is set, I say obviously, I don't know that I said this in this clip, but this is set in a world where climate change has basically destroyed the world. There are loads of floods and water is just killing many cities, especially the ones that are near the sea. So essentially they have moved on to, I don't know where this book is set, I would if I paid more attention. They have moved there to see if they can build a new sort of city or, you know, town there. But obviously, essentially with a lot of these stuff, it is about occupying someone else's land. So yeah, like I said, I didn't think there was anything bad about any of this. I just felt, I finished it and I was just like, I feel like this is just the run up to the whole story. So it just left me wanting more. I have moved because I feel like the lighting is doing me absolutely no justice in that room and I can't really tell. But so like I said, I then went on to read this. I won't talk about this or take up more of your time, but what I will show you is, well, this is the next book in the series that I'm going to read, and I just absolutely love this cover. And I think after I read this, so briefly what I will say is, when I finished reading the book prior to this, I was a bit like, I am sick of the series, like I don't want to read it anymore. But that one really helped me like find what I loved about the series. It was very light, it was interesting, I liked it. So yes, we're back into loving the series, and then I'm going to finish this off, and then I think I'm just going to give the series a little break before I order more. What I've done this month is order myself some more poetry collections. So where's the other one? So I ordered myself 3 that were on my Goodreads, like to be read. If you can hear that noise, that's just my cat in the cat litter tray. So I ordered this one, I Hope This Finds You Well. This is by Kate Bayer. I believe this is about, yeah, this is about messages that she received online, especially as her online presence grew, so did the darker messages in her inbox. These are from strangers that have ranged from advice and opinions to outright harassment. And it says she decided to transform the cruelty into art and using it to create fresh and intriguing poems. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. And then I also ordered this. So Somebody Give This Heart a Pen by Sophia Thakur. I don't know what this is about, in all fairness. She takes you through an intimate journey through love, loss, faith, and self-discovery. She gives a voice to the experiences that connects people and encourages readers to look into themselves and explore the tendencies of the heart. So there's that. And then the other one that I ordered and the one that I have started on is All the Men I Never Married by Kim Moore. I can't remember who was reading this on Goodreads, but someone was reading this on Goodreads, and I clicked on it because I loved the cover and I loved the name. And then I thought, oh, actually, that sounds really good. This is the one I have started with, and I'm on page 28. I am really liking it. So essentially, there's about, how many poems are there? 48 poems, which all talk about like her encounters with men. And this isn't just sexual encounters, this is just like any sort of verbal encounter, and just this is like verbal encounters of anything like men have said to her, but then obviously there's sexual encounters, relationships, all these sorts of things. It's really good. This is so good, and to write consistently on the same topic, I think must be really hard to make your poems sound different, but they all do sound really different. And some of them are written in different formats, which is quite nice, so I'm really enjoying this. What I also did is place an order for 2 books from the Scottish Poetry Library, which is based in Edinburgh, and you can request like free copies of poetry collections. I thought it would be like for any poetry collection, but I think it's more like older books. So I placed an order for this book, which is Refusing Heaven by Jack Gilbert. It's been in my Amazon basket for so long, so I was like, right, of all the ones I'm looking for, they don't have it, they have this, I'm gonna get that. And then either this was also in my Amazon basket, or I was just looking at their catalogue, and I was like, yeah, let me get some Rumi poems, because everyone quotes Rumi. And obviously, like, I've seen quotes elsewhere, and I've probably read them in like, you know, small little books that you get with like inspirational quotes, but I was like, let me get an actual collection. So this one is Whoever Brought Me Here Will Have to Take Me Home, and it's translated by Coleman Barks with John Moyne. So as you can see, it's quite a weather-beaten copy, but yeah, nothing wrong with that. So yeah, we are poetried out for the month of February. I had just realised that I hadn't read a lot of poetry collections recently, and because I'd gotten back into doing the Ruby Core Healing with Words, I was like, I still want to like read more poetry and get some inspiration. So there we have it, some older classical poems and then some contemporary poets. Hi guys, I have no idea what this vlog looks like because I have not started editing it yet, but today is the final day of February. I always forget that February is a short month, and not that I forget, like, you know, I know that it has 28 days, but you know, when you're going through it, you always just kind of forget. And then all of a sudden, bam. But, yeah, so I'm going to end this here. I'm going to talk to you about the 3 books that I'm currently reading, but most importantly, I am in such a good mood because yesterday I found out I'm getting a promotion. And it will be effective as of tomorrow. And it's just really exciting. It's really exciting for me because I'm 31 and I've never been promoted in my life. And the main reason for that is because I've just left jobs after like a year and a half. So any sort of like progression that I've made has always been by jumping up to the next role. And yeah, I really enjoy my job. I really like the people. I enjoy the work that I do. You know, I moved up to Scotland to get a master's in publishing studies so that I could work in publishing, and that's what I've done. And then to work in this role, to work in for the kind of books that I work on, which wasn't like initially like what I thought I would do. So to work on those books, to really love it, to really feel like it complements the sort of lifestyle that I want to lead, even if entirely I cannot access these books or like read these books because a lot of them are beyond my level, has been really nice. And just to discover a new part of publishing that I really enjoy has been great. But to be like rewarded for all the work and effort that I've been putting in has been great. So this year I wanted to go for a promotion anyway. It was one of the things that was on my sort of priorities manifestation list for this year, and you know, I was prepared to like line out all the things that I was doing, showing that I was capable of being promoted to the next level. And then yesterday my manager, so I had a review back in January, and then yesterday my manager was like, oh, like, can I just talk to you? And then basically told me I was getting promoted, which was so great because in the review I said I obviously wanted to be promoted and I was prepared to put together like a business case and stuff. So to not like have to do that and just to have it recognised and have the promotion happen anyway, it's great. So I feel really happy about that, and I just feel like in terms of a lot of the things that I wanted to do this year. I'm ticking a lot of them off my list, which is really good because last year was like a tough year. There was a lot going on in my personal life, and yeah, there was also a lot going on at work as well, but just have that is really nice. I get a salary increase, and my work has been really great in terms of like salary increases anyway. So that's just been really nice. I'm really happy about that, actually, to be honest. I'm just like, woo. And I just feel like in terms of the things that I want to achieve, I'm doing them, and that makes me really happy. So I'm hoping that this is just like, you know, the beginning of things. Because obviously in January was that flat fire, and I was just like, is this like foreboding for the rest of the year? I don't know. But my battery is flashing at me, and I want to quickly close this off. So let me talk to you. I finished reading, I showed you that poetry collection, and I finished reading All the Men I Never Married. Really enjoyed it, gave it 4 stars. I have now started reading this. This is Somebody Give This Heart a Pen by Sophia Thakur. I believe she's a performance poet, so I'm intrigued to see how her writing translates onto page. Not that that isn't like something that can't happen, though. You can read words and then like it can be just as good when you perform it. But sometimes I feel like performance poetry is the element of performance, you know? I actually went to poetry night last night, which was quite good, but I ended up leaving halfway through because I was really tired. And I didn't realise it was going to go on for so long. But I'm also still reading this, The Rights of a Reader. I have really enjoyed it the more I've gotten to these sections. I think I did speak about this before in terms of why I'm enjoying it a bit more now. So that is still on the list of things that I am reading. And then, like I said, I am starting this book. I have only gotten to a couple of pages. I'm on page 22 at the moment. So yeah, I don't want to talk any more about these because I believe I have in previous clips. But that is where we're at in terms of reading. So happy February. Again, I failed on getting any sort of clips of me in the outside world or just the outside world in general. But it's a priority for March. And yeah, I'm looking forward to March and seeing what March brings for me. But thank you for watching this reading vlog, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.